One morning, James was boasting about what job the Fat Controller had given him. "After I've shunted some trucks today, I'm going to pull a special coach with the Fat Controller and his mum in it to the top of a mountain so they can have their lunch there and watch the whole island. It's a very important job, so that's why the Fat Controller gave it to me." Gordon was annoyed at James. "Ah, pulling the express is more important than that. It's what keeps the railway running," said Gordon, and he was right. And James knew this, but wanted to show off. Well, I'm going to shunt some trucks now, and then do my important job." James then puffed proudly away. "Who's too big for his buffers?" said Gordon as he left the sheds. "Watch out, James. Don't keep boasting or something bad will happen," shouted Toby. "Bah!" shouted James from a distance. Later on, after Percy had shunted Gordon's coaches, he heard a whistle and a cry for help. James came past with 3 trucks behind him and 1 truck in front. "On, on, on!" laughed the trucks. "Stop! Stop!" cried James. Up ahead on his line was a signal box. James tried frantically to grip the rails, but the surge of the trucks stopped that from happening. James saw the signal box get nearer and nearer. Suddenly there was a great crash. The truck in front of James got crushed between James and the signal box and broke into pieces. And James went forward straight into the signal box, breaking half of it. "Now I know how Donald felt," said James, face first in the signal box. Percy saw it all. The Fat Controller was most annoyed. He then had no choice but allow Percy to take them to the top of the mountain. Percy was happy. He coupled onto the important coach. "Who is this tank engine?" "I want a lovely big engine," said the coach. "Be quiet," said Percy, bumping her. "I'll get you back," she said. Percy went past James, who hadn't been rescued yet. "I'm taking the coach and you're not," chuckled Percy. "Pah!" said James, who was very annoyed. Just then Percy came to a hill, but Edward had come onto the hill earlier with some leaky oil tankers, and Percy rocketed down the hill with the coach bumping behind him. He raced past the station where the Fat Controller and his mum were waiting. A signalman saw Percy coming past, so he diverted Percy onto an old branch line. The branch line had been forgotten about, and swamps had taken over it. Some track led right into a mossy, dirty river. Percy sped right into it with water gushing everywhere. Percy and the coach were both very, very dirty. Moss and dirt covered them. When the Fat Controller found out, he was very annoyed. "We must find another engine and another coach," he boomed to the station master. Then he saw Toby and Henrietta. He gave them the job. Toby had a wonderful time. Although he struggled on the mountain, the rails were steep, but he pulled hard and he finally got there. The Fat Controller and his mum had their lunch at the top of the mountain. They both said thank you to Toby. That night in the sheds, James and Percy made up their quarrel, and they both said well done to Toby, who made it up a steep mountain.